Good evening. My name is Molly Hart, and I wanted to sincerely thank the school board for the opportunity to speak tonight, because what I have to say matters deeply for every child in our district. We are failing our students, not just the ones who are visibly struggling, all of them. And the root of that failure traces back to one systemic problem: standardized testing. I don't say this lightly. As a former student in this district I lived it. Now, as a college student pursuing a career in education, I've spent considerable time researching it. Because standardized testing is so deeply embedded in our educational system, I want to be thorough, fair, and evidence-based before standing here tonight. What I found was alarming. Before I share that research, I'd like to try something with you all. A little pop quiz. Don't worry, it's low stakes. Okay. Question number 1. By how many points can a student's score drop due to test anxiety alone? We'll give you a second to kind of think about it. The correct answer is up to 15 points. So taking that 100, you can get a student getting an 85 on it due to test anxiety alone. Okay, question number 2. How many standardized tests does the average student take between kindergarten and 12th grade? Now, I'm not talking about unit reviews, I mean like long-term, high-stakes assessment, like the Regents exam. Okay, this one might shock you a little bit. 112. Okay, question number 3. How much money does New York State spend on standardized tests every year? Thousands, millions, billions of dollars? Well, the answer is billions. We are spending billions of dollars every year on standardized tests. Now, I don't want you to dwell on the answers themselves. Though I think they are revealing, I want you to think about how that quiz felt. Even in this low-stakes setting, did you feel a flicker of anxiety, a moment of self-doubt, a worry that you weren't prepared? Now, imagine you're a child, and the test in front of you determines your academic future. That is what we are asking our kids to do every single year. Those 112 tests, that is what we are asking our kids to do. Now, standardized tests were designed with a purpose: to gather data, monitor progress, instruction quality, and provide accountability. That purpose is a legitimate purpose. But the evidence now overwhelmingly shows that these tests are not meeting that goal. And the cost to our students is staggering. A study by Cassidy, Finch, Nicholas, and Odie found a reliable and negative relationship between test anxiety and academic performance. A Harvard study also found that students carry 15% more cortisol in their systems before an exam, a measurable physiological stress response. And researcher Ahmed, Finch, Helpster, and Cassidy identified what they now call perceived test threat, a phenomenon in which students' brains respond to standardized tests the same way they respond to a genuine physical threat. We are not just stressing our kids out, we are conditioning their brains to perceive learning as a danger. The Harvard study also found that minority students are disproportionately harmed by standardized testing, raising serious questions about whether these tests measure academic ability or simply reflect systemic inequality. And then there's the issue of what is actually being tested. As one widely cited article puts it, standardized tests fail to account for students who learn and demonstrate academic proficiency in other ways. Teachers are focused to teach the test, narrowing curriculum, suppressing creativity, and reducing education to remote memorization. The test doesn't ask whether a student understands the material, it only asks whether they can recite it back. Research on test anxiety, which affects an estimated 60% of students at some point in their lives, identifies 5 distinct impacts. Number 1 is inability to study effectively. Students become so overwhelmed that they either fixate on studying to the point where they can't study at all, or overstudy to the point of overexhaustion. The second part is freezing up. Students go blank during the exam and can't perform to their abilities. Number 3 is shattering their confidence. Anxiety causes students to second guess their correct answers and spiral into self-doubt on those exams. Number 4 is a physical symptoms. Elevated cortisol that we talked about earlier, sweating, fidgeting, and physical distress. Number 5 is the inability to demonstrate their knowledge. Students become so focused on the test itself that they can't actually show what they know. This is not a minor inconvenience, this is a systemic barrier to learning. If their immediate harm isn't enough, consider the long-term consequences. Researcher Jane Murray found that the culture of standardized testing is contributing to a decreased workforce motivation. It's a lot of big words, but it basically means that there's unprecedented levels of job dissatisfaction and less productivity in the workplace. We're not just harming children in the classroom, we're shaping the adults they become, and not for the better. The good news is that there's alternatives that exist and they work. The University of San Diego advocates for essays, interviews, journals, and portfolios as holistic assessment tools that evaluate the whole student, not just a single moment in time. Teacher and researcher Jessica Smith documented that when students have agency in evaluating their own learning, they performed significantly better and demonstrated deeper understanding of what they were doing. As one education journal puts it, performance-based assessment provides an essential piece of the puzzle in measuring student growth. And for those concerned about the scale of change, it doesn't have to be radical to be meaningful. Caroline McLeod and Bike Boys found that social emotional learning strategies, things as simple as mindful breathing and emotional regulation techniques, measurably reduce test anxiety and improve student outcomes. Small changes can have a profound impact. What am I asking of you? I'm not here simply to inform you. I'm here to ask you to act. Encouraging teachers to use alternatives, student-centered assessment, providing resources and support to help educators implement those alternatives. Advocating in New York State for the elimination of high-staked exams like the Regents exams. Our students never signed up for this. They didn't choose a system that floods their brains and their bodies with stress hormones, undermines their confidence, and reduces their education to a multiple choice answer sheet. But you have the power to change it. They are the future, and right now we're failing them. As a school board, you are here to advocate for our students when they can't do it for themselves. Advocate for them, change for them. They're counting on you. Thank you.